I'm meteorologist Shane Hinton with your Monday morning tropical update. 3 areas that we're going to be talking about, but let's go ahead and focus in on Tropical Storm Idalia. This is most likely going to be the biggest weather story of the week. It's currently in the northwestern Caribbean as a tropical storm with sustained winds of 65 miles per hour. It's currently moving north at 8 miles per hour. The latest cone from the National Hurricane Center does have this rapidly intensifying to a major Category 3 hurricane a little bit early on this week. In fact, right before possibly making landfall somewhere within the west coast of Florida. This is going to be late Tuesday, early Wednesday is the current timeline before eventually basically lowering down toward the Category 1 toward North Florida and then out and towards the eastern Atlantic. Now, as we take a closer look here, this is where the current cone includes all the way from the Tampa Bay area all the way toward the upper panhandle. This would once again be late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. So we'll have to monitor that very closely. You can already see a variety of alerts have been issued. A majority of the west coast of Florida under a hurricane watch, and as you make your way toward the south, either a tropical storm watch or tropical storm warning. We could see storm surge totals up to 11 feet for some areas of Florida. Let's compare 2 of the very popular forecast models. You've got the GFS American model in green and the red model indicating the European model. Now, they're both kind of in sync in regards to the trajectory itself, just minor differences. However, it is worth noting that the European model moving ahead of the GFS model and the GFS model trending stronger. Now, I would not be surprised if we see the potential for that system to intensify past a Category 3. If you recall, the waters over the Gulf of Mexico are abnormally warm. As we make our way closer to the Wednesday morning timeline, that's where you can see the European model has a landfall already, GFS still hovering out in the Gulf. The longer time spent in the Gulf, the stronger it would get, just due to the fact that the waters are so warm. Taking a look at one of the forecast models, this is the European specifically, just because historically it does pretty well with tropical systems. You'll notice bands of rain starting to affect the west coast of Florida very early on ahead of landfall of the system and then pushing out towards the north. Now we've got to talk about Hurricane Franklin. As of this morning, it is now a Category 4 hurricane with sustained winds of 145 miles per hour. This is the first major category hurricane in the Atlantic basin of this season. You notice it is not going to be posing a direct threat to the United States. In fact, it's heading out further into the Atlantic. So that's some good news for us. Another area we're monitoring is a tropical wave just off the west coast of Africa. It has a 50% chance of development over the next 7 days. If it does become a named system, we are moving on to the J name, which is Jose. We will continue to monitor all the updates here on the Tropics, and we'll provide updates on air and online.